Okay, I'm back. Sorry for connection issues, audio issues, and yeah, I'm Shimon. Hello, and on today's stream, I will continue working on RabbitMQ plugin. Um, Last time we worked on this plugin, we managed to create a basic implementation which was this RabbitMQ SAGA host. As you can see, uh, it it changed. Last time it was everything in written in this function, and during this 2 weeks, I work on splitting into services to create more maintainable code to test it and to have more readable code. So I will describe briefly what I changed here. So we have a RabbitMQ Saga host is the class that we set up the RabbitMQ channel and declaring exchange, which is the optional, because we can work on default exchange. Then we use queues provider, which provide us the definition of queues, and those definitions we have from SAGA model and options. And from options we have exchange, and from SAGA model we have a list of transactions we will have to will process, and each transaction have some steps, a few steps, and each step is queue that we receive the message, and another queue we will send message to. And this is our, let's say, one connection to the to the okay. I see that there are problems with my voice, audio. I will try fix it. Is it better? Please, Krzysztof, notify me if it's better. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit sick, so my voice is not so strong. Please, Krzysztof, confirm. Is it okay? Okay, I will try to speak louder. Okay, so what we have here, it's queues provider. This will provide definitions of queues we will receive and sending the messages. And going back to our hosting class, that we will start channel for RabbitMQ. Uh, we get an default exchange, as a default, it should be empty. Let's set up this, and if it's empty, we don't want to declare because it will use the default exchange. And what about queues provider? As I said, it will provide our definitions of queues we will use for redirecting the message from uh, one service to another service, and we get all the queues, we declare queues, and um, if the exchange exists, we binding to the queue our exchange. The next step is creating the consumers, and consumers are created in the factory. We use the channel and our orchestrator. I renamed SAGA Q to SAGA Orchestrator because I think it's better better name for our entry point, and our project is named like Orchestrator. I think it's okay to treat it as entry point. And now we have a consumer, we have a factory for consumer, and in our options we have uh, switch dispatch consumer async, and this get us the correct consumer. Here we have async consumer, and here we have a regular consumer, not async. So let's get back to the host. So as you can see, we're declaring right now the queues, consumers, and here we have a subscriber factory. Subscriber is the um, object that um, will how to say, let's open, maybe it will be better to understand. Okay, so we have an output message from our queue, or open Miro, maybe it will be better to work with Miro. Mm. Okay. Okay. So we have the schema of our workflow here, and let's go here and subscribe. For uh, it's for pushing the messages when something gets into the orchestrator. Then we want to subscribe that, okay, orchestrator want to push something to our queue, to our RabbitMQ. So we will subscribe and we will publish it to our exchange, which is, as you can see, got from the exchange. And here we have a message name, it's our queue. We want to push our message, and we have a properties for pushing the message. And in the properties we have such information like content types and so on. So, and we pass our subscriber to our orchestrator to handle those outcome workflow. And we have dispose if we want to finish the work with hosting our SAGA orchestrator, then we can dispose it. So our interface implements also iDisposable interface. Yes, and I so it's improved version of a code, and I also improved the structure. As you can see, I split the code into the appropriate directories that are related to some processes. And here, as you can see, I have two projects, and there's the unit test. We wrote one unit test last time. Now it's adjusted to our new implementation. And also, I created the one integration test. And integration test, it's very interesting because this integration test, which is here, maybe I will close uh, those tabs and uh, open just one. Uh, this test use the RabbitMQ fixture, which have a reference to RabbitMQ containers. So every time we execute the tests from this class, this will use the fixture that setups a Docker container for RabbitMQ queue. And it's a very convenient way to do that. There is open source library which is named test containers. There are a lot of plugins to these test containers. You can create containers for PostgreSQL to use it in with your integration test, and as you can see, you can use it with also RabbitMQ and others queues that developers use with applications. So we are starting the container. We're starting the connection and basic properties, and we are able to use it in our tests. So we have our host here. I'm creating the RabbitMQ Saga host. Uh, and this Saga host, as you can see, the, we are passing a lot of services that are needed for working for this host, and we creating the substitute the mock of factory, and we pass our fixture connection to the return of the create method. We have default serializer and default options, and in our fixture, as I said, we have a container, and container have a get connection string, so you don't have to set up anything, any username, password, ports, or something like that. It will be created every time and with different ports, so you can use you can run tests in parallel, and there will not have containers will not have port um, hmm, how to say it, port problems, because every container will have own port. So yes, and I want to create today also with you test, one more test, and this test will test scenario where something will fail and we want to handle some exceptions that can occur in our solution. So because what we have here, as you can see, it's the scenario where is a valid message and the appropriate message should be fetched. So we have some input message that have some data, don't have any payload, and we have some transaction ID and some queue which were, we want to handle. So this input message will be sent from an application to our orchestrator. So we're serializing this message, and from our fixture we can select channel and invoke the basic publish method that will send our message to our orchestrator. Not orchestrator, to our RabbitMQ, and our orchestrator, which is suit in this test, should get this message and send another message to queue named queue target, uh, and we can get this message which was sent by orchestrator using the channel basic get. It will on one time return a result from RabbitMQ. If there is no result, I mean there is no message in our RabbitMQ queue, then this basic get method will return result, return null, and of course it can take some time from publish to have to process by our orchestrator and to publish it to another queue, another message. So I created, um, let's say, very primitive resiliency uh, 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 mechanism to get this message with delay. Well, we wait 100 milliseconds and then get. If there is still null, we go one time more, and if we uh, do this 10 times, then we just returning the null, and the assert will return the null. So I can run this now, and I can show you how it will be, uh, uh, how the Docker, our Docker dashboard will display our test. So run. Oh, there are errors. Okay, because this is interface. So it's probably the implementation. Yes, yes, we have the exchange, and here exchange is empty. Okay, so it was okay. So let's go back to the our test. It's here. To go to our Docker. Okay, as you can see, this is for running our test, and this is our mm, uh, actually queue that will be used by our test. Okay, and it's done. We see that it takes half a second, 1 second, and we have um, good result. We returned from our queue the message with the name of our target. So it was flow in our orchestrator to redirect this. And because it's very important here to I forgot about it, to work our SAGA host we need SAGA orchestrator, and we don't have a SAGA orchestrator right now in our uh, no, orchestration project, because it's for later. We decided to first implement the plugin. Um, I don't know, it was right decision, because I think orchestrator maybe should be first, but never mind. Let's go with the integration test. So I created the mock, and mock working like that we have a SAGA model, we get steps and we create dictionary from those steps, and when something go into our orchestrator we read the input message and we create output message with the same transaction ID, with the same payload, and with the next step, which is the value of the key value pair, uh, where key is our from so it's from Q name, so it's name input message, so we get the input message name and we have the next step. Okay, and if the next step is not mm, I mean, if the transaction is not defined, then we have a argument exception. um, yeah, and this will be replaced by the working SAGA orchestrator, but we don't have any right now. And yeah, there is something like that. Some factories, consumer factory and subscriber factory. Okay, I want to say something about our background service, because I believe that we will use our RabbitMQ Saga host in the background service of some .NET application. So I created such background service that use the builder, and in this builder we can configure our Saga our Saga host with the options, and build our host with SAGA model, which is crucial for our application because there are definitions to mm, redirect the message. Uh, and this is a very simple background service because it's only starting this host and dispose it if it's invoked, if disposing is invoked. So yeah, I'm going today create maybe one test for background service, but first let's create test that will occur exception in our host orchestrator, and we will uh, inspect what we can do this with this exception, how we can deal with it. So let's create the test, probably task, maybe even as async, and let's say our in our message it was the mm, mm, let's say how we can let's say we mocked the just throwing the exception. So if exception occur in um, orchestrator, then exception should be logged or something like that. Okay, we will use similar setup. Let's copy this. Yes, we have Q source, Q target, and let's go into create host. And maybe we want to, for example, create uh, create mock of this RabbitMQ SAGA consumer factory. So we also let's copy this. It's our suit. Okay. And now instead of passing this consumer factory, we will create the mock of this interface. Why so far? Let's hear RabbitMQ SAGA factory. We will use substitute dot for, and let's create RabbitMQ consumer factory. And this will return, not returns, but have this method, okay, arg.any. Oh, maybe we can even pass our channel and SAGA orchestrator. Why not? Okay, here and here. And this will return basic consumer. And let's create new basic consumer. Just async event basic consumer, something like that. Not. I want to use this. And okay, let's create our consumer like that. Yes, and it's our SAGA Q. It's SAGA orchestrator, serializer, and not channel, but the fixture that channel. Yes. Okay. And nice. And now we can pass here our consumer, which will be which will throw new exception. Okay. Or maybe just and will return does not complete task. Should be okay. Never mind, it works probably. So let's see why I have such cursor. Maybe insert. Yeah, so what we expect from our codes, yes, so basic publish, we are getting result, but we will not get the result. So we probably should oh my god, we should receive the result of null. So something here, yes, result, and we will see. Maybe we also will have some exception will throw in our code. Maybe not, probably not, because it's on the different thread, which is not observable, and I think our exception will be here in the channel, probably. It's a callback exception, yes. So let's create var exception occurred. This will be false, and in our callback exception, it will be void. Let's see. Okay, so there are argument. There are one argument exception. Oh, maybe we can pass some message to our exception. String accepting and we get I'm too fast for my keyboard, and exception not one. Okay, so sender. Okay, yeah. And exception cured, or maybe just what we have here, callback exception event arcs. What we have here, exception, yes. So we can even not like that. We can create variable with the exception from here. Not throw. Will not throw this right now. And this exception will be wrapped exception. Yeah, probably it's wrapped exception. Throw. And captured exception. Yeah, and this will be null. The exception, and let's assign this. And if in our callback will exception will throw, then we should probably capture it here. And so if it works, then we should maybe change the implementation of connection factory. No, our host to create also the callback for our exception. But first let's see if it will be work as I expect. So set and this result should be null, but exception should not be null. Oh my god, not null, and captured exception, and here we have no, it's at first is expected. And equal will use probably in context of exception we'll use the reference. We throw the same exception here, and this exception maybe it's aggregate exception. Let's see, or we can check in the documentation first. Why not? And here callback, or maybe just exception. Let's see. Will initiate a shutdown sequence for the channel. Okay, that's important. Mm, see below. Channel level exception. Okay, if we pass wrong queue. Okay. Uh, okay. Mm-hmm. I model operations group, but okay, so this will be select, but we want to get those logs from somewhere, or maybe not. But let's focus on our triggered. Okay, yes, we should also test the situation when our container is not um, it's not available, so then create connection will fail probably. Okay, initial. Yeah, I will handle it on after today's stream, and probably I will show you handling all the exceptions, all the errors on the next stream, because there are a lot. Let's focus on this on exception that will throw in our callback, receive callback. Mm, okay. Mm, okay, I don't think anything about this specific. Okay, it's unroutable. Consumer callback. So there is nothing about exception in our callback. So let's test it. What will happen? I'll run. Okay, can't create proxy. Okay. Hmm. RabbitMQ. Okay, it's internal. Oh, okay. Let's create public. Okay, so we have something. Which is interesting. Uh, because we didn't want to receive. We didn't. Hmm. Okay, that's why. Uh, yeah, and this consumer factory should be here, and now it should work. As you can see, running those Docker containers takes some time. Async consumer, but okay. I thought maybe this will be okay, but unfortunately no. Hmm. Oh, uh-huh. Consumer. So we return this consumer. And this not works. Why? It's async. Async consumer. We have async callback. And our SAGA host also will be uh, created as async. Yes. Okay, so where is bug? Consumer async received, and we have async callback. And we maybe this returns null for some reason. Let's see what we will have here. Okay, let's see. Consumer. It's basic consumer, but hmm, substitute. So it should create, uh, get the correct consumer. Hmm. Basic consumer. That's interesting. Basic consumer. Consumers. Consumer. Hmm. Line 71. Basic consume, and here we have a problem. We should have our async basic consumer that we mock, not mock, we create in our tests, and it's definitely async eventing basic consumer. Uh, so it's substitute e basic consumer. Okay. Consumer. This will return from this. Maybe something is wrong with the arguments, and this not for this returns wrong one. I don't know. Oh, so two arguments was the problem. To be honest, I don't know why I thought that we are using exactly this channel and this orchestrator, so it will match. But for some reason, it doesn't match. Mm, let's see. SAGA orchestrator and channel. Mm. Mhm. Channel and SAGA orchestrator. Oh, let's not dig into it. Let's see what we have here. Not null failure. So captured exception. We don't have any exceptions, so this exception didn't throw, or maybe throw, but we don't know where it's where it is. So our callback. Let's see what we have here. Fixture. I mean, in our channel, maybe it's something mm, no, callback. Okay, so it's only the exception callback. Callback invoked by the model. Examples of cases where this event will be signaled include exception from in. Okay, but uh, do we even invoke this consumer? I mean, okay, we have our suit, we start, we publish in it. SAGA monolith. Let's see if it will be invoked. So it's the same story like here, but our consumer is different. Only this. Um, okay, so we're throwing the exception. Yes. And what is next? Just not null. So we are not here, probably. It's not ASIC, no. It's okay. Oh. Is it completely not logged or not? Or what? Oh, okay, I run without not the debug. Uh, okay, what's going on? Oh. Um, okay, so we are in received callback, and now we should, but from my perspective, we should get into the callback exception, but probably will not. We will not. Yeah. Hmm. Maybe in the consumer is something like callback exception. No. Registered. Received. Shutdown. Okay. Register no. Received no. Okay, so I don't see anything. Okay, so about handling the exception in our received callback, I will get into it uh, in this week, and I will show you the result of my work on the next stream. And now let's write one test, integration test with the background service, as I mentioned earlier. So let's create the class, and this will be the RabbitMQ SAGA background service. Yes, and we want to create the service, background service, so we want to create the service collection to register as service and run it. And to do that, we want to let's create the test. And let's create service collection. And yes, this is this. And we want to create our options. So SAGA model. Let's use SAGA model. Builder. Let's use builder. No, that's okay. And probably that will be okay. Okay, let's. Oh my God. This should be public, and let's declare this as a class fixture and class fixture of RabbitMQ fixture. Yes, so now we can pass our fixture here. Fixture. Yes, and we have a container here. So we can in our SAGA model no, but here we want to create some transaction. At step from to okay, maybe not here. To and create SAGA options. SAGA options. RabbitMQ SAGA options. Yes, and connection string. Will be from here. So fixture container yes, Okay, we want to have this public, but only with get. And now we have container, get connection string. It's okay. And in our service collection, add hosted service. Exactly. And our hosted service is RabbitMQ background service. Okay, what's wrong? I host service. Oh. Tests. No, yes, we have a right one. Okay, service collection. Let's configure SAGA model, because action. Okay. Okay, so we have to have our option mutable. And transactions, and we want to have SAGA model that transactions. Yes. And configure SAGA options. Okay. And only connection string, and this will be exactly, and we don't need this. And okay, so we have configured this. We have a background service, and as you can see, this option and this SAGA model is here, but we need something more. We need register singleton other services we want to use, because this will, oh no, we don't want to in this implementation, because in the future we rather will not use will not it's something like that. Maybe we want to inject it I mean those services in from the DI container, but right now we want to use builder. It's easier, and that's it. So we have service collections, and can build it. Okay. So we need to create a web host builder, to be honest. To have our to have integration test, to have the application with our background service. So we need the web host for our integration unit testing. I will check it how to create it, because I remember that we should we should inject probably web application or something like that. Integration. Let's see. It was web application factory. Fixture web application factory, and now we need a program. Okay, let's create program class, and yeah, need to install this. Okay, and let's create some program public program. No, I'm not sure it will be work, but okay. We probably need the program CS. Let's see if it will work here. Oh, not here. I wanted in integration. Yes, and in our program, we want to script this. Okay. Okay. Program. Let's check it. I don't remember how to. It was something like host, but probably I need the proper SDK, because it was a web application, and okay, maybe it will work. tilde. Hmm. Okay. And now we will use um, those things. Okay. Right. For now, we will have those constraints here. Oh my god! And here we have a yeah. Connection string. Okay, we need from somewhere this connection string. Yes. Okay. How to? I will check it. How to do it? Maybe this program was wrong. Web application factory. We need to use web application factory, not programs. Yes. Let's remove this. Yeah, yeah. Fixture could stay, and web application factory. But it was in iFixture. Ah, let's for now create. Okay, let's get back to this program and factory. Okay, so we need some type of program. So maybe it's too much work for today. I will prepare for the next stream a continuation about how to handle properly um, those exceptions and how to write an integration test with our background service. Yeah, so I will not prepare for this. As you can say, I finished the whole the plugin. I clean it up and uh, and now I'm going to handle those problems with exceptions, and I will create more tests. And for the next stream, I present you um, new tests, uh, new test um, for success paths, and also for red paths, uh, and maybe it will be enough for the first version for the RabbitMQ plugin. Uh, so yeah, I think for today it's enough. We, as you can see, uh, this test is working. Our plugin is working, but we have to still explore those exceptions things. Background service probably also works because it's not you know analogic here, so probably it's okay, but it would be nice to test it also. So I think it's enough for today. Thank you for being here, and like and subscribe, comment if you want, and bye, and we'll see in the next stream.